Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of Talk Real Estate with Abby. Today I'm going to share with you guys some data points and also some topic within real estate. Hope you guys will enjoy. Okay, without further ado, let's move to the main part. The weather is so nice, so I decided to bring you guys outside and to shut this episode off. What? There's a bird? See, there's a bird? Okay, rewind. So, welcome to the third episode of Talk Real Estate with Abby. In this episode, I will share with you guys some June stats and some issues going on in the area and national-wide. First, I'm going to chat with you guys is the affordability issue here in the United States. So I've been reading some newspapers and chat with my colleagues and deeply realized this is a problem in the United States. We noticed that the house price has been rise consistently since 2008, which is 12 years ago. Isn't that crazy? And the coastal areas home price even rise crazier. For example, like me, I live in Kirkland, Washington, and I noticed that in the past few years, the home value is just raising like a roller coaster. But the odd is, the demand is so high and we need more inventory. However, it is just so hard for builders to build new construction, so most of buyers they just cannot get new construction since they are so rare and the competition is extremely hard. So you might ask why builders do not want to build new construction. The thing is, the land value is so high and the labor and material cost is also high. And another thing is the government restriction. The regulation get tighten and tighten, especially in the waterfront area. It's just a really tedious process. And we really think like we need to work with cities and to really change this issue. Another thing is like we feel our income rise doesn't chase with the home value rise. So it is just like, although like we get more income, but this income cannot compensate the current situation of the home value rise. So for example, in San Francisco, California, there's only 8.9. Oh, there's a flight. Okay. So only 8.9% of the home is affordable to people, which means it's like over 90% of house that people cannot afford. This will just create an issue that the house is, yeah, it is expensive, but people just cannot buy it. Then what's the point? Another thing is like we noticed that my generation, millennials, delaying their home buying process, and normally they will buy their first home right now, but they're just delaying it. And many people just think like a millennial just have different style of living, and they want to move around, and they don't want to be tied to the loan. But however, it is not right. The main issue is house is not affordable to them. Although like many tech crews, they have really high treatment, but however, home price is just so high that they feel like it doesn't match their current scenario. So they're delaying buying. But the biggest thing is it's just too expensive for them to afford. So we really think like if someone or some builder can solve the affordability issue, that it will really create a win-win situation. However, we also think it's not a one-sided blade, and it's just like so many factors that people need to work together to solve this issue here and to actually push our society forward. Okay, so right now we're going to move to the second part of today's episode. That is the odds in Grand Seattle area. First of all, I'm going to share with you guys some quotes I wrote down from Seattle Times article. Here it goes. Prices are on the rise. Homes are selling faster than they have since early 2018. Bidding wars abound. In King County, there were 47.5% fewer homes for sale in June than the same month of 2019. In Western Washington as a whole, demand more outmatched supply than any time in the past decade, except the white-hot days of late 2017. So we see the demand is there, but the supply is not. And we have a really low inventory. Compared to last year, we probably only have like about half of the inventory compared to last year. But why? Seattle Times said sellers are holding their property and wait the pandemic end. But really, why? So some of them take advantage of the low mortgage rate to refinance instead of sell. In this particular time, people really think holding property versus cash. Property has more value, space, and if the federal government going to print money like right now, they are just so afraid that the cash will lose value really quick versus the real estate. So they are holding back and they don't want to sell right now, and they also want to take advantage of this really low interest rate. So that is the reason why they are holding the property. Of course, people have different consideration of their own home, but this definitely is a factor that why our inventory is just so low. And on the other hand, on the demand side, buyers also want to take advantage to buy homes right now. However, the inventory is just so low and the competition is extremely strong right now. Another thing is like the huge tech company, they are going to hire people anyways despite this pandemic. So there are people really need to relocate and get their homes in Grand Seattle area. So they have to get a home right now, which also drives the demand. However, we really see an imbalance between the demand and supply. So this really just drives the price really high, and the recent activity has been really crazy. This house market that I'm working with is proved to be pretty resilient, and it didn't really slow down. Well, it did slow down a bit when the pandemic just started back in March. However, it picked up really quick, and we see the activity recently is just on the level of last year, and there's really no difference. And real estate broker are pretty busy, and the job site, the construction site are also really busy. Then what's happening in the mortgage world? I talked to my lender friend and didn't get a lot input from her. It seems like it didn't have a lot of changes since the last time I chat with you guys. And so I only read 3 things down. The restrictions of applying loan didn't really lose, and it's still really unfriendly, I should say, to self-employed people, since they still need to prove that they're not affected at all because of the pandemic, which is just extremely hard. And another thing is the jumbo loan. There are places doing jumbo loans, but the jumbo loans price has been improved compared to normal times. So that's pretty much it, the odds in here and the mortgage world. So right now I'm working with you guys to the June stats. First of all, I'm going to do some recaps with you guys. So in April 2020 versus the same month of 2019, we saw the transaction goes down 52%. And then for May, we saw the transaction goes down 25%. However, in June last month, we see the transaction goes up 6%. So it is really great. The housing market really picked up and it proved to be pretty resilient here. How about monthly supply of inventory? It is actually lower than 1 month, with 0.9 months supply of inventory here in King County. Actually eastside, not King County. Rewind. Okay, so less than 1 month. Last time when we see it, it was in the hot white market back in 2017. So it really proved that the housing market right now is still so super hot and the competition is really strong. And we see the crazy spring buying season really move to emerge summer buying seasons. There 34% sellings are sold over listing price with a median of 4% over listing price. How about properties sold like this week? So there 62.2% of house sold less than 15 days, like this quick. Compared to 2017, what do we think? Well, the house market right now, it is hot, but it's not as hot as back in 2017. Because back to 2017, and I look back to the June stats, they were over half of the properties sold above the asking price. Right now it's like 34%. So it is hot, but it's not comparable to it's not quite comparable to 2017. And towards the specific area, 520 Bellevue area is the only area in King County that is following the balanced market range with a 3.5 months of supply. Other area till now are still seller's market, which means sellers are in advantage. Mortgage rate is relatively low. I just mentioned in my last section, and it was about 3.16 last month, and it makes buying this June versus last June cheaper. Because of the mortgage rate is just so good right now, despite the rising home value about 4% compared to last year. Buying this year versus last year is still more affordable. And pending sale by week actually rise from 77% of last year in the week of 3rd of June. So from the start of June and then till the week of 24th of June, we see 112%. So it is exceeds the transaction compared to last June. So it was a pretty busy month. And the pending sales level actually climbed back to the level of last year. And we really see that the influence of this pandemic on the housing market here in Grand Seattle area actually fade away a bit, and we just think the summer market will be extremely hot here. Okay, so set aside east side area, the King County and Seattle also shown recovery. This indicates that the market here in Grand Seattle area is pretty resilient and the sign of the hot summer market. Okay, so this is the end of today's episode. Like always, if you guys have any question, please just leave me a comment down below or DM me. I'm happy to chat with you guys. Yes, enjoy the summer.